You're watching the Scottish Football Zone with all the build-up and reactions.
Hello, very warm welcome to the Scottish Football Zone. Another, how many times am I going to say this? Another big weekend of Scottish football coming our way, and what better way to discuss the big issues of the week with my good friend. Well, that's what it says here anyway. Regan Stevenson, how are you?
Not bad, Michael. How are you? I'm very tired.
Tired.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we won't ask you what you've been up to, or on this family show. A big weekend of action in the Premiership and the Championship. It's a bit unusual because there's no Emma games tonight in the Championship. All the games are tomorrow as well. Before we get into it, let's just say that we'll be here on Sunday at 3:00 to look back in all the weekend's action. And Monday night, we've got a special program, Regan, about St. Johnstone. Alistair Blair will join us on the show because he's just brought out a book about St. Johnstone. So we'll give you more details about that later on as well. So I think there's only one place to start, Regan, before we get into the game. The double header, Rangers against Celtic, all from Glasgow Derby, call it what you will. Kicking off at 12:00 on Sunday. You went on last night, Regan. Give us your reaction on the game. A surprising performance by Celtic.
Yeah, Michael. Only seen the highlights this morning. Celtic played pretty well. I actually checked the scores last night, and when Celtic went 1-1, I think when Celtic went 1-0 up very early, I was starting to think, is this really possible? So, yeah, fair play Celtic. But yeah, it's going to be interesting now to see what Martin O'Neill does on Sunday, because that's going to give him a bit of a food for thought as well, Michael.
Yeah, no, it's what is it that he made nine changes to the team, and you're thinking, well, this can go either one or two ways. But no, I thought they performed well, and I thought McCown played well. Sinasaro, there was a big question mark over him about. Will he play or will Schmeichel be in goals? Do you think that he'll keep his place for Sunday, or do you think it'll be back to Schmeichel?
I was just going to say that to you, Michael. But what do you think? You've already beat me to that question, but my personal opinion is, Michael, I believe that Martin O'Neill should start Vinny Sarasalo, because I feel like Schmeichel has dropped the ball too often, and I think that he needs to take more responsibility for the performances that he's been putting in for Celtic. But that's just my opinion. I think Schmeichel should be dropped and Sarasalo should be brought in.
Yeah, no, I was having a conversation with somebody today about this, right? And what I was saying to them was, you might have found, because Schmeichel has not been up to his best the last couple of weeks, or the last few months, and I think Martin O'Neill was saying to himself, well, we'll play this European game but without anyway. So let's just play Sinasaro anyway, because we've got kind of nothing to lose. Would that be fair for me to say? But put it this way, like, I wouldn't be surprised if Sinasaro's in on Sunday, and I wouldn't be surprised if Michael's in on Sunday. I know that's not an answer that you're hoping for, but maybe play the two goalkeepers.
Yeah, I mean, Michael's sitting on the fence is per usual. As people know that watch this show will know, Michael likes to sit on the fence.
Yeah, I like to sit on the fence because it's it doesn't get dark now until about 5:30, so I can sit on the fence as well. But I'm not sure about that one. I think that going into the kind of game Reagan night, you look for a few maybe headlines in the Celtic team, but I think the only the only kind of major headline for Celtic would be the goalkeeping position, and obviously McCune maybe.
Yeah, the goalkeeping position, but also the centre back placing as well. As I said earlier, I would play Sinisalo, and also you've got to say, I mean, does he play Dane Murray or does he go with Tierney at centre back and Sriracha at left back? So I think it'll be interesting.
Let's go on to talk about the game, and I don't know if you saw the two managers' press conferences, but there's been some mind games coming into the game. Danny Rowe was saying that he was surprised that Celtic never went to win the game, but as Martin O'Neill says, yeah, they did win the game. Okay, they went out over 2 legs, but they still won the game on the night. But I think Rowe was kind of saying about he was quite surprised because Celtic never won the 2 games, you know, like the 2 legs. So I think the main games has been starting, but I think if you want to play mind games with Martin O'Neill, you might have to get very early to catch him.
Yeah, I think that's just a little bit hyped up by maybe STV. I think it was Rahman Bajwa that asked both of the questions to Danny Rowe and to Martin O'Neill. I don't really feel like there's much in it. I think the thing was, Michael, that it was Rahman Bajwa that asked the question to Danny Rowe in the first place to ask him what did you make of the comments made by the Celtic players that Celtic are the best team in Scotland. And I don't think the actual what Luke actually said was wrong. He said Celtic are champions, and until someone takes that champions status away from them, then they feel as if they are the best team. They are the best team in the country. But then, as you probably know, Danny Rowe's been saying, "Well, Celtic are behind Rangers on the table." So
yeah, and Martin O'Neill found it very bizarre how Danny Rowe was going to pick Celtic's team ahead of the game on Sunday. But yeah, that's going to be interesting. Talking about the managers, Danny Rowe was speaking to the media as always today. He says, "We are ready for this game and we need to focus on ourselves because we're at home." And Martin O'Neill says, remember, this is the start of maybe a back-to-back game against Rangers, but in the middle of it, you've got the Aberdeen game next week, but on Wednesday night, sorry. But Martin O'Neill says it will be a difficult game, but we're capable of going there to get a win. Now, how do you think Celtic will approach the game, Reagan?
I think it'll be full throttle from both squads. But I think the longer the match goes on, the more the kind of I think it'll be more sort of the defensive and cagey and things like that. But I think at the end of the day that I think whoever loses the match is completely out of the title race for me.
Do you think as well that obviously we're going to focus on Rangers in a minute, but in terms of like Celtic, if they don't get anything out of the game on Sunday, a point or 3 points would be even better for Martin and Neil's side. But do you think that if they don't get anything out of the game in Sunday, the game in Wednesday night against Aberdeen doesn't mean nothing?
I don't think
I don't mean nothing, but you know what I mean by that.
I don't think it means nothing, but I don't think they're going to be in a chance of winning the title unless there's a big collapse from Rangers and Hearts. Because I
Yeah.
feel like if Celtic go on and lose the match on Sunday, it's a long way back.
No, as in one Glasgow derby to come after the split, but that's at Celtic Park. Do you think that going on the back of the result last night, right, Reagan? Obviously, everybody knew, apart from obviously the Celtic squad, that they might have a that labor out, but obviously you've got to put your professional hat on and stuff like that, right? But do you think like the manner of the performance and the win will give Celtic confidence going into the game on Sunday?
I think Martin O'Neill and the players will be hoping so because they'll be thinking, right, well, that's just proof that we can sort of rise to the challenge in these big matches.
Yeah, no, exactly, and yeah, so yeah, because it would be the opposite effect, right, Reagan? Like, say it's Celtic went down heavily to Stuttgart last night, right? Maybe 3-0, 4-0 away from home. That would get dent the confidence going into Sunday's game. But because that they won a game last night and the first time in German soil, that I think that will put them in good stead going into the game.
Exactly. I mean, I don't think the players will be too happy with how the season's went. It's been a pretty poor season by Celtic standards and by Scottish football standards, but I think that if Celtic can build on last night and do it again on Sunday, then Martin O'Neill will be pretty happy.
And that's a weird thing about this season, Reagan, right? I'm going to, maybe in a few years' time, there'll be a soap opera made out of the Scottish football season, but that's how nuts this season is. Like, Celtic's not been on top of the game, right? Yet they can still win the double.
Yeah, Celtic have not been good, but they can a few results for Celtic and they can really do it. So I mean, there's big opportunities for them.
Yeah, no, exactly. So how do you think that? How do you think Celtic will approach the game on Sunday? Do you think that they'll go there and come out that?
I think they need to go there and attack it because I don't think a draw is a good result for either Rangers or Celtic either. But I think it's only my personal opinion, right? People can shoot me down as they want, but I believe that man, if you said to Man O'Neill right now, he would snap your hand off for a point on Sunday.
As for Rangers as well, right? You know, it's been a quiet build up for them because obviously they're out of Europe and all that. But I think if you ask Danny Rowe and the supporters, he would rather have not a game this midweek to concentrate on the game on Sunday as well. But I mean, they're just coming into the game off of the back of dropping points against the bottom of the league.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't think Rangers or Celtic will be going in there pretty happy with how things are going. But this is a kind of monumental match where whoever wins the match can really change their season to make it a special one.
And I think as well that when you speak to the two captains, they don't have to get the team up for this game because they know it's a big derby game. They know it's going to be, for Celtic, a hostile atmosphere. For Rangers, it will be like a 12th man and all the rest of it. So I don't think that the two captains would need to say anything.
No, I don't think the two captains would need to say anything, Michael, because they know that what's at stake and they know how important these matches are.
So yeah, I mean, it's weird to think that this is Scannarell's first Glasgow Old Firm game at home at Ibrox.
Yeah, I mean, you think that obviously Danny Rowe's been there for a while, but he's not been there that long. Obviously, I was in the airport when the first match of the season when Celtic and Rangers played at Ibrox, and it was 0-0. So that was a bit
Yeah.
of both. That was a bit of both. I suppose I needed a holiday after that game.
That was under Russell Martin as well. So yeah, I mean, how do you think Rangers will kind of like approach the game? Do you think that they'll go into it quietly confident?
I think they'll go into the game quietly confident because they're at home. They've got the fans behind them, and they know they've got players, and they know they've got players in the squad as well. They can really hurt Celtic as well.
Yeah, it's and then obviously I mean, this is a game for heroes, or maybe this is some a player could step up to the mark. I mean, you mentioned Dane Murray. Yeah, quite a decent game last night, but I think it will be a bit of a risk putting him into a game like this. But in saying that, if you put him into the game, then he'll come out the game as a man, because obviously he's playing against his biggest rivals at an away game, a hostile atmosphere. So, I mean, what I'm saying is, like, it could make or break a player.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think this is the type of occasion that you need Dane Murray in there, Michael, because it could, like you said, if Celtic got a goal down early, it could break him. You look at the match. You look at the match against Hearts. He scored their own goal very early in Brendan Rodgers' last match as Celtic manager, and it just broke him.
And
So
that was yeah. Sorry.
So me personally, if Martin O'Neill's watching, I'm telling Martin O'Neill, you need to play Sriracha left back and Tierney and Scales centre back. I don't think this is a match where you sort of experiment and bring in Dane Murray at the back. Maybe you could bring in Benjamin Affer, because Benjamin Affer's maybe got a little bit more experience, but I'm not too sure.
Of course, Martin O'Neill would love to get a point, or Emmy, or 3 points even better, because it's his big busking Sunday, and it will be a nice basket present for him if the team wins on Sunday.
It'll be a very nice birthday present for him if Celtic win. I mean, that's the perfect birthday for any football fan that your team wins. So I'm sure Martin O'Neill will be telling the players, look, make mine a special birthday. And then I'll buy everybody a free drink afterwards.
What do you think Danny Rowe's approach to the game will be? Because obviously that home in front of 50,000 as well. What about Tavernier? Do you think that he'll be a sub again?
Yeah, I think he will be. Because Danny Rose sort of made his mind up that Tavernier plays off the bench at the moment. So I think it'll be Romans that'll play.
And have you been impressed by Rangers in the last couple of weeks since Danny Rose came in?
I have been because no pun intended, but Rangers have been on a roll, Michael, and I think that they obviously they'll be disappointed with the fact that the match last week at the Tony Macaroni didn't go to plan, but it's one of those ones where Celtic to drop points at home, so they'll not really feel the effects of that. But if they want to get any closer to Hearts, I think this is a must-win game for Rangers.
See that going back to the game last week, like Reagan, were you surprised at the score, but also gives that fire Livingston up, because obviously we don't know. We know that Livingston's not got a big, massive home support. So every time like Celtic, Rangers, or other teams come to town, they sell it out. But does that give Livingston a bit of a lift, because they're saying, well, everybody's here expecting Rangers could get a 3-pointer and an easy day, but we'll go out and show them.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you've got to rise to the occasion for every game. And like you said there, these Livingston players know they're going to be on they know the spotlight's going to be on them because they're playing Rangers, and they also know that the match is going to be viewed by millions of people on TV worldwide as well, because it's obviously on Sky, it's obviously on worldwide as well. So yeah, I think that's part of it, Michael. Yeah.
Now we must talk about VAR on Sunday. Obviously, when these big games come up, we always Gregan talking about VAR and the incident on Sunday. I mean, did you hope for a very open game and VAR doesn't get involved in a decision that we saw the last few seasons?
I'm hoping that John Beaton can be very strong, because you look at the ordering off he done last week for, was it Richard King for St Mirren?
Yeah.
That should have never been a red card for the poor guy. Never in a million years. And in a month for Sundays, I don't know how he's managed to merit this match.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a big game for the officials, but hopefully, when we come on the show on Sunday, we won't be talking about the officials. We'll be talking about a good kind of open game, and I think as well, Reagan, that even though the cup game next week at Ibrox, this is a kind of cup game, but also maybe you would say a cup final as well.
Yeah, because after there's a winner or a loser, then it's absolutely dire for the opposition team, because they know that it's a long way back. I mean, if Rangers lose on Sunday, they are now 7 points behind Hearts, because you'd expect Hearts to beat Aberdeen. Because Aberdeen at the moment are right run, so you'd expect Hearts to win.
And obviously Celtic goes up then Wednesday night against Aberdeen, that kind of like game in hand. What's your prediction for the game on Sunday, Rangers and Celtic?
Already made my prediction on Monday, and I better stick by it. My prediction is Rangers 3, Celtic 1.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yep, cool. I will go an away win. I will go Rangers 0, Celtic 2. So
I don't see that in a million years, Michael, but you never know.
Yeah. I mean, you never know. You know. I mean, you just have to look at the games going by. I think it was Oscar Calder's team went to Ibrox and Rangers dominated the game, and I think it was Kyogo scored, and just before half time.
And then, it was Brendan Rodgers' team, Kyogo scored for half time, yeah.
And then that was and then Celtic came out in the second half, 2-0. There we go. Paul Donaldson, good evening to you. We'll talk about the Aberdeen game. In fact, we're going to move on to the Aberdeen game in a moment or two. So thanks for your comment. But yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be a very open game. Reagan, but at the same time, I think that the two teams will be a bit cautious going into the game, and it'll be interesting to see.
I think so, Michael, but I think the reason why I feel Rangers is because they're at home. You look at their home record since Darren Rowe's been in, it's been brilliant. You look at the wins against Hearts, the wins against Motherwell, the wins against Hibs. Rangers' home record's been absolutely fantastic. So I just can't see by Rangers. I just think Rangers will win by two clear goals. But I'm going to go 3-1 to Rangers.
There you go. That's a big game on Sunday, and because it's a big game, we'll be on after the game at 3 o'clock, looking back at all the games at the weekend. Right, let's go on to Saturday now, tomorrow, and the League's Biggest Hearts are facing Aberdeen at Tynecastle. Before we speak about that game, Paul Donaldson says, I would not be surprised at all if Aberdeen beats Hearts tomorrow, but then we go and lose the next 5 games before the split. I don't want to pag in the front, Paul, but I don't want to. I hope Aberdeen's not gave you a false dawn. Did you like that, Regan?
False dawn? Oh, no, that's a bad one, Michael.
Yeah.
You need to go back and learn some new jokes.
Yeah, I better go back to school. But I've seen a few people saying that they don't mind Peter leaving at the moment. I don't know what Paul thinks in the chat, but yeah, what do you think about Aberdeen?
I think Aberdeen are a bit of an enigma, to be honest with you, Michael, because they 1 minute they're great, next minute they're absolutely rotten. So I'm sure Paul's going to be there tomorrow, and he probably doesn't know what to expect.
Yeah, I know. It's I've told you, Regan. This is like a weird season, right? Because who would have thought it, right? Aberdeen won the Scottish Cup. But this season they've been pretty poor, and that's a polite way of putting it.
Yeah, they've been worse than poor. A team like Aberdeen should be challenging for second and third, and obviously trying to do well in the Premier Sports Trophy as well. So Aberdeen's going to be doing better than they are right now.
Yeah, no, exactly. And also talking about Aberdeen, they've got a big game this weekend in the Scottish Cup. But it'll be nice to see. I'll be interested to see what they do tomorrow at Tynecastle. Regan, you know, like Peter Leven was talking about the game today. He says it's a good place to play. We're all about it. But it's all about us. And if we play our game, we will win. It's going to be a massive chance for us tomorrow.
Yeah, if I'm Peter Leven at the moment, I would snap your hand off for a draw, because I don't think Aberdeen can really go there and win. Paul Donaldson probably knows better than me, but I think Aberdeen's record at Tynecastle. You disagree with me because you think we should be challenging to win the title? I don't know what evidence you've got, Paul, of Aberdeen winning the title this season, but I really didn't see it happening this season. I mean, I'd like to see Aberdeen winning the titles, but I don't think the squad investment's that good. I think maybe Aberdeen can now look at Hearts now and go, right, this is what we need to do now to properly challenge, because the Hearts challenge has been sustainable and it's been brilliant.
Not this season. It just means in general, and I kind of agree with you, Regan, and I'm sitting on the fence here, and I'm gonna agree with Paul because I don't know.
Stop sitting on the fence.
I don't know if Paul agrees with me here, or maybe you, but Aberdeen's one of these kind of sleeping giants.
The other sleeping giant, obviously, Sir Alex Ferguson's going to be there tomorrow.
Mm.
I don't know how Paul feels about that. He's going to be a guest of honour from Hearts, considering he was a league winning manager for Aberdeen. So that'll be interesting. And I see that Derek said that obviously that Sir Alex wants Hearts to win tomorrow because he wants Hearts to win the league because he spoke to him. So
Well, to
that'll
be
be
honest,
interesting.
with you, Reagan, I don't think Alex Ferguson would have any. I think he would say Aberdeen Hearts will win tomorrow just because he's getting VIP treatment. I think if he was going up to Aberdeen, he would go to Aberdeen to win as well. But yeah, I mean, it's very weird how like I keep going back to last season, Reagan, right? And the Sky well on good Jimmy Turling, right? And they got to they won for the 13 or 14 games, right? And they went to Hampden, played Celtic in the League Cup final.
He got
Celtic
me 6-0.
yeah. And Celtic battered them, and ever since then, Aberdeen's never recovered. Yet they went on to win the Scottish Cup, and then you would think, okay, maybe they're going to get a bounce to get into the new season, and nothing.
Yeah, I mean Aberdeen really done well last season up to a point because they done brilliant and then all of a sudden it was that 6-0 6-0 defeat to Celtic and then it just kind of crumbled from there, Michael. But I think it all depends how the match starts tomorrow. I'm not going to be there tomorrow. I'm going to be a championship match, but I think that obviously it'll be interesting to see how the match starts because if Aberdeen can stay in the game for as long as possible and then nick a goal, the pressure on Hearts is going to be crazy.
Yeah, I mean, they asked Derek McInnes this as well to get the press conference because Celtic and Rangers are playing each other and not until Sunday. It's going to put more pressure on them than Hearts because Hearts are playing first. But as you could imagine, McInnes came out and said, "No, that won't kind of like affect us. We need to do our usual job on the park to get 3 points."
Yeah, that's all they can do. They can only concentrate. They can only concentrate on themselves, and obviously, they'll be wanting to get the 3 points on the board, and then put the scoreboard pressure on Celtic and Rangers as well.
Yeah, I know exactly. So I mean, I think it will be a good atmosphere because Aberdeen. I would imagine that. I was going to say they would take a big support with them. They will, but Hearts is. I think they've cut the allocation as well. What do you think of Paul's comments there about I'm not renewing my season ticket next season. I think after the disgraceful season we've had, a lot of Aberdeen fans will be doing the same.
I think that's we only get.
Yeah.
I think that's true because I think she's a football fan. There's not much you can actually do. But if there's a lot of fans not renewing their season ticket, then Aberdeen's got to do something in the background. They've got to try and change something because that's their general feedback from their participants saying, "Look, we are generally not happy here." So that'll be a wake up call for Aberdeen fans and for the Aberdeen board if there's a lot of fans that are saying No, I'm not going to renew my season ticket. Paul, is have you have you been speaking to a lot of Aberdeen fans in terms of a lot of Aberdeen fans are not going to renew their season ticket? Because if that's the case for a lot of fans, then I'm sure Dave Cormack is going to be standing up and seeing what you guys have got to be saying.
And I do think it's back to my point I've been making for ages on the show, Reagan, and probably you're sick of me saying this, but I think Dave Cormack's only one more manager away from supporters turning on him as well.
I think he is, but only because of the position there in the league, how stale they've become. Because to be honest with you, Michael, I'm in a different camp for you. I actually think he's backed his managers pretty well.
Well, I think that
I just think what I think Dave Cormack's done wrong right now is he's employed a German guy who's not got a clue about Scottish football. You know,
well, I think that he get maybe Jimmy Tarlin appointment right, cassette. That's getting the reason why.
To a certain extent, he did get it right because the ultimate goal for Aberdeen, as Paul was telling me, is to win trophies. So he did win a trophy.
Yeah. No. Yeah, I know, but the point is this: if he didn't win the trophy, I don't think he would still be there. I think it bought more time.
I get what you mean, but if I didn't walk across the road and get milk, I wouldn't have milk. So it's one of those scenarios, Michael, where it's like
You're not getting my milk, by the way.
My dad's bigger than your dad. It's the argument. Paul will he'll be a place to talk about it, but I think Jeremy Toledo will be remembered for winning that trophy since the first manager for a very long time.
What about Hearts then? Obviously, they'll have an extra fan here there tomorrow. They'll have Alex Ferguson. But yeah, it's going to be a bit weird to see Alex Ferguson, a guest of honour, in the director's box from get Derek McInnes. But Derek McInnes says Aberdeen is a good side, but we need to focus on ourselves. But does that give you Aberdeen more kind of energy going into the game because that Derek McInnes is well loved? Well, we used to be well loved up in Aberdeen.
I don't think so. I really do think he's purely focused on winning the title now. But I think it'll be a different psychology because, like I said, if Aberdeen go 1-0 up early, then the whole place could change. The whole place could be absolute chaos. But I think Derek McInnes would just be hoping that they can get through and it can be a pretty easy afternoon for them.
Yeah, I mean, we saw what Falkirk did to them in the Scottish Cup, and albeit Falkirk got beat last week against Hearts in the league, but by all accounts, Hearts scored in the last was it the 20 minutes of the second half, so it must have been a kind of even game.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Falkirk are a good team, so it's not going to be easy, but ultimately Hearts got a 1-0 win. That's the most important thing for them. And that's ultimately how they I think, are going to be right up there by the end of the season. They're going to be right there.
So, yeah, what kind of game are you expecting tomorrow? Do you think it's similar to a kind of away game, a wee team going to the team at top of the league come out the trap very quickly, or do you think they'll kick the game in stages and that way that they're going to frustrate the fans?
First of all, I just want to say sorry to Paul. I hope he knows that I don't mean this in a bad way here, but I just see it being an easy afternoon for Hearts. I just think Hearts will be so ready for this, Michael, because you think about it, right? I mean, Hearts have been thinking about this all week, and they're thinking Rangers and Celtic are playing each other. They'll be so fired up to come out early and to come out of the traps and score early and win the game. I think they'll be fired up, and I think it'll be an easy afternoon for Hearts.
Tony Docherty got the job last week as the assistant manager of Aberdeen, helping out Peter leaving at Aberdeen. Were you surprised at that, or what was it one of these appointments where they need to get the fans back on side, so bring up half of the team that was there with Derek McInnes?
No, I think Tony Docherty was probably a proper choice, but within the Aberdeen hierarchy, the Aberdeen players and that, because he was someone that done well. He was someone that done well under Derek McInnes until the end, ultimately. So I think that Tony Docherty is a very good coach. I know it didn't work out the last season in the Championship. Up in the Highlands, Michael, but I think in general, I think he's a very good coach. He proved that with Dundee. So, did you watch the Dundee Racing for Aberdeen match? It was one of the worst games I've watched for ages. The pitch was an awful state. Yeah, I've seen bits and bobs actually. I was watching Queen's Park and St Johnstone at the same time.
My Queen's Park, there you go. As
Yeah,
well.
my Queen's Park, and obviously I'm going to see my Partick Thistle tomorrow, Michael, so it should be nice.
So coming up later on, we've got an interview with Sean Clayton. Regan spoke to him today about the game tomorrow. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be quite interesting how, if it's going to, like in the first 20 minutes, how the fans will react to that game if Aberdeen gets off to a kind of like good start in the game.
Yeah, but see if Aberdeen's got any chance of actually getting a point here or getting 3 points, especially. They need to stay in the game for as long as possible, because this Hearts team can really blow away quickly. They need to stay in the game. They need to manage the game properly, and they need to tackle the game in the right manner and make sure that everybody's switched on as well.
I'll be quite interesting as well, Regan, if Aberdeen going to go up, how will Hearts
react,
yeah, especially at home as well. And obviously Hearts has got injury worries as well. But I mean, we said that again when Celtic came to town a few weeks ago. Do you think that will make any difference? And I don't think it did. But I think if memory serves me right, there, Cammy Devlin will be back in a few weeks' time. And no, sorry, it's Lauren Shankland that's going to be back in a few weeks' time. What about Craig Gordon, a bit of a blow for Scotland, do you think?
I didn't hear that. Michael, what is that about Craig Gordon?
Craig Gordon is out of the games coming up for Hearts, but also he might be ruled out from the Scotland camp in March because he's got. I think it was today he was going for an X-ray.
What happened to him, Michael? Do you know?
It was a reoccurrence of his shoulder injury.
Yeah, well, hopefully Craig Gordon is back soon. But no, I didn't hear that, Michael. I've been so busy and tired and doing other things.
Yeah. So and as for Hearts, I mean, they're kind of like at home in front of 18,000 tomorrow, and they'll be hoping to put on a show. But as I said, I'll be interested if Aberdeen gets the first goal and see what happens after that.
Yeah, big time, because that can be a psychology as well, because Hearts I've never been in a position like that before, and it's all about seeing how they can deal with the pressure.
So your prediction for this one, Reagan? Hearts against Aberdeen at Tynecastle tomorrow.
I'm going to go Hearts 2, Aberdeen 0.
Oh, right, okay. You're going to laugh at me here, Reagan, right? This is a bold prediction, right? Usually it's you that makes bold predictions, but because I'm in a happy mood, I'm going to make a bold prediction, right? Paul might like me for this one, right? 1 each tomorrow. Hearts win, Aberdeen 1.
If that comes off, I'll salute you, Michael, but I don't see it happening in a million years. I don't know what's happened to your predictions this week. You're saying Celtic are beating Rangers at Ibrox, and Hearts and Aberdeen's a draw. Have you watched Celtic and Aberdeen recently?
Yeah, no, I have. Yeah.
Two of them have been rotten.
Rang rotten, as I say in the West of Scotland, but anyway, yeah, but there we go. Paul says I would be happy with a draw tomorrow, and I think
Oh,
Reagan
Michael,
would
but it
be.
sounds, yeah, because
I think,
he backs everybody but Hearts every week.
and I think Reagan will be happy with a point as well. Going into the game on Sunday. So there you go.
Michael, when is the last time you backed Hearts? Come on, you've got an anti.
Well,
You're like Charlie Magruder.
yeah, no, no, I just feel though that Hearts'
Yeah.
run's got to come to an end at one point. As
I'm
well.
really young.
So yeah. Let's speak about another team going for the title, even though Jans Becker Ackers played it down today. Motherwell they're at home to Dundee United tomorrow. And this is a football team I really enjoyed. I've enjoyed watching them this
The
season.
best footballing team in Scotland.
But I've also enjoyed watching them against St Mirren last week, albeit St Mirren was getting to 10 men, but the damage was kind of done before that, Reagan. But I'm looking forward to this game.
Yeah, the damage was done early. It was 2-0 up early. I didn't actually see the game, as I told you last Saturday night. But yeah, I mean, for Motherwell to win 5-0 away at St Mirren at any time is a great result. But some of the football they're playing, I was saying that to Roger Hannah earlier. I mean, he's making Steve O'Donnell look like a brilliant player. I mean, Steve O'Donnell was looking by average for a few months there, but some of the football he's playing as well, Michael. Some of the passes they're playing, unbelievable.
I mean, I think as well, Reagan, right? Obviously, we done the transfer window show. It seemed like years ago now, but it was only in January, right? But I think, like, even though Murrow never kind of brought anybody in, as if I remember, if memory serves me rightly, but I think that Jans would be quite happy because he kept that squad together. But the big test will be coming in the summer.
Yeah, Michael, but don't blow out the party already, Michael. They're enjoying it. It's Motherwell fans' best season so far. And you're saying, we'll wait and see what happens in the summer. The manager will be away, and so will Mas Manisa, Michael. We'll let them enjoy it.
Yeah, no.
Let them enjoy it, Michael. Come on.
Yeah, I'm Mr. Doom tonight. Everybody's doomed, and stuff like that. But no, I mean, and then in a few weeks.
I totally see your point that Bertu ask you and a few of the players will be off in the summer, but just let the Motherwell fans enjoy tonight, Michael.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird big in a way because obviously it's usually one big player, and that makes a difference to the Motherwell team or the Celtic team or the Hearts team or whatever. But they've actually got 3 or 4 decent players.
Yeah, I mean that is it just he's a great player.
I like Just, yeah.
Yeah, and Said as well as a Said.
Yep.
He's a cracking player.
I think Celtic were looking at him in January window, but they were
Aye.
looking at everybody at the window.
Aye, they were looking at everybody at the window. They weren't actually going to the window and putting in some money, but that's another story. But I mean, look, fair play to Motherwell because like I said earlier, the football Motherwell playing has been brilliant. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I thought it was brilliant to get. I don't know if you saw the Motherwell press conference, but Jans Beckett Ackett was asked the question about again the title race, and he done a brilliant answer. He basically said everything apart from yes, we are. And I think, like, if a manager says that, then you know that he's got something about him because obviously deep down, Reagan, he will know that Motherwell's will win this.
Aye, the will, and I mean, if you look at it, Michael, if if Aberdeen do what you think they will tomorrow, get a draw, and Motherwell will win tomorrow, and also if Celtic beat Rangers like you said they will, which I don't see happening in all the years. But anyway, if all of those things happen, then Motherwell are only 4 points off it.
Yeah, and I mean, going back to the game last week at St Mirren Park, I mean, Motherwell won the game comfortably, but also it helps their goal difference as well because they scored a lot of goals in the game. And I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that I will come down to goal difference or anything like that, but I mean, it's going to help their cause a wee bit.
Oh, definitely. I mean, Motherwell have been playing some fantastic football this season, and the fact that they're scoring so many goals, they're blowing teams away, is just fantastic for them. I was actually debating whether to go to the game tomorrow, but I've chose second against third in the championship.
What about Dundee? Dundee United will speak in a wee minute or two, but basically, Jans Beckett Ackett was saying that it's going to be a difficult team to play against, but we need to be up for that. We're going to be facing a good side, but we believe we can win the game. So that's what it says tomorrow, Reagan. What about Dundee United? It's I don't want to say that they're the one inconsistent team this season, but I think they are.
I mean, they go down to 10 men against Spartans as well in the Scottish. And I think they play a boring match against Aberdeen, as Paul says. So you never really know what you're going to get with Jim. You never really know what you're going to get with the Tangerines. So
were you expecting more from them this season, Reagan?
I don't really know, Michael, because as much as I can see, I expected more. But I've got so much from Hearts, so much from Motherwell, so much from the Highways. So I think it's been a competitive league, and if one team let us down this season and Dundee United, then fair because we've got so much entertainment from the rest of the league.
Yeah, no, exactly. I did feel as though that Dundee United done well to come up from the championship in the first time of asking, but and then last season they had an okay season, but this season it's just I don't know. It's I'm not saying it's going to go horribly wrong for Dundee United because they'll win the bottom six, but yeah, it's just a weird season for if you're a Dundee United fan.
Yeah, I think they're in the same predicament as sort of Aberdeen. It was like the match that probably didn't really matter the other night because two of them are just kind of languishing at the bottom end of the table, and they're not going to get relegated. They're not going to get top six, so they're sort of in that place where I wouldn't say it's a meaningless match, but it's in a sort of case where the Dundee United are just kind of I would say they're kind of focusing and enjoying the Scottish trophy because I don't think Dundee United have really impressed the league either. They've been pretty boring to watch.
Paul Donaldson says I haven't enjoyed this season at all. Maybe
totally-
you're
I totally
maybe
get that. I totally get that,
Yeah.
Paul, because I watched parts of the game on Tuesday and I've watched parts of Aberdeen this season, especially when they played Rangers. When Rangers beat them 1-0 or 2-0, but it was up in Aberdeen. And Aberdeen is usually a kind of a squash buckling side, and they've got players that can really help Rangers and Celtic. But when you watch the Aberdeen team now, they're just pretty boring, pretty lethargic as well. It's the same with Dundee United as well.
I think I can see Paul's point if he's been looking after number one as in Aberdeen, but I think it's been a pretty good season because obviously out with the big two, you've got stories all over the league. You've got Hearts, you've got Falkirk, going to get John McGlynn, you've got Neil McCann coming in at Camargue and Semi turning it round very quickly.
And don't forget, Michael, Partick Thistle and St Johnstone.
Oh no! I was just talking about the Premiership there, right?
I'm joking, Mike. I'm having a laugh for you.
Well, I think I kind of got out that hole there, Reagan, by saying the Premiership. I didn't want to say the Scottish football overall, but I know what I mean because. But I mean, listen, the Championship's been a brilliant season every season, as well. So, what's your prediction in this one, Murrow and Dundee United?
I'll go Motherwell 3, Dundee United 0.
I will go. I was going to go 3-0, but anyway, I will go 4-1 to the Well tomorrow. Murrow and Dundee United tomorrow. So let's speak about the next game, and I think as well, Reagan, right? Now, if I had to say this to you 2 weeks ago, you would be saying, "Are you having a laugh?" But I think Dundee and Hibs in the Premiership, before you pull me up about the Championship, I think this is the game of the day because obviously the game, both teams are going into it with great wins. Last week, obviously, Hibs went to Celtic Park and beat Celtic. Dundee won last week as well.
Yeah, you've got a jobby team. You've got a jobby team in St Mirren.
Yeah.
No, a jobby team in Dundee, sorry.
But I just feel as though that I was speaking to Stuart Murphy last night. I just feel as though Stephen Presley has turned that shit right round.
Yeah, he has. I thought you were going to say something there. Said he turned that. He has. And I think in terms of he's got Simon Murray back on board. Obviously the boy Hamilton is doing pretty well. So I think Dundee have got things to be, and the boy Congreve as well. That they've got players in there, Dundee, that have really shown up well this season. And fair play to Stephen Presley, even though he called himself a so-called jobby team.
And I mean, you just have to look at them the week. Obviously, you don't get prizes for coming second or getting beat, but I mean, they just went to Parkhead last week and they took Celtic into extra time, and what a goal Dundee scored that night as well.
That was some goal, my God. Actually, I really enjoyed it. It was some goal, no deflection at all, just right in the top corner. Bish, bash, bosh.
Yeah, bish, bash, bosh. Miss Moneypenny. So yeah, I mean, and then Hibs, they're a bit like Dundee United when you think about it, like Reagan, right? Because I had a brilliant one last week up at Parkhead, but I think they're the most inconsistent team I would put again. Beside Dundee United, because one minute David Gray get the results and the performances, and then the next minute they go on they go on a defeated run for the games.
Aye, because I think as well, because of the season it's been, I think see if the Highbuys would have probably not get beat as much, they could have been in the title race as well.
Mhm.
You've been talking about 4 different teams here.
Well, I mean, you just have to look back to the not the Edinburgh derby there, but the one before that. Hibs beat Hearts when they went to Easter Road.
Yeah, exactly. 3-2. What a game! I didn't see the game, Michael, but I was listening to the match on the radio because I was heading to other games. But what a match that was during the Christmas period. So I think Hibs have shown they can really do well, especially that victory they got at Celtic Park.
Obviously, Dundee Simon Murray. I mean, he's a Dundee man through and through, and he's got to fight for the jersey and stuff like that. And, I mean, he's had he's quite had a career so far. Obviously, Ross County, your team Queens Park as well. You know, so he's been about, and also he knows the back of the netters as well.
Exactly. I mean, he's a quality striker. He knows where the back of the net is. And as people always say, Michael, it's the hardest thing to do in football is score a goal.
Yeah, no, and I think, yeah, I think there will be goals in the game tomorrow, but I guess feels though that this will be another game that I'm going to sit in the fence, Regan,
Oh,
because
don't do that, Michael.
yeah, I know I've got skills already. I don't know where. I'm not going to tell you whereabouts. You might know, but I just feel as though it's going to be a kind of like open game. But I think the atmosphere will be good tomorrow
On you
because
go then, tell us your score prediction.
okay, there'll be goals in this game, right? So I will go for 2-each score tomorrow.
Oh, no, I'm going to go a comprehensive win for the Highbuys. I'm going to go Dundee 1, the Highbuys 3.
I think that'll be a good atmosphere because Dundee always pulled in a good support, especially at the shed end as well. But I'm also thinking about the Hibs fans. They'll go up there in their numbers as well.
Yeah, they will. I mean, they'll be singing Sunshine and Leaf back down the road if they can get 3 points.
Well, they took a big support last week to Celtic Park.
I didn't go to the game, Michael, but yeah, I heard that from yourself. And fair play to them as well. I mean, they've shown over the past few weeks that they've got a good fan base. If they start playing well, the fans will turn up.
Yeah, I know exactly. And as for Hibs, I mean, they're coming off of a big win up at Parkhead last week. You know, but I always feel though that when teams come off of a good win against Celtic or Rangers, or yeah, let's count Hearts and Motherwell this season as well. It's what you do after that game because it doesn't matter if you win at Parkhead. It's what you want to do the next week as well. And
Yeah,
I think it's important for Hibs to get a win because they've not got a game next weekend because of the Scottish Cup.
yeah. I mean, I think it's important for him to back it up as well, Michael. Like you said, to back it up the victory that they got last week. There's no point in beating Celtic and beating Rangers or even Hearts and then going, we're going to lose to second bottom Dundee. So they'll be looking to back it up and go back to back wins.
Yeah, no, Stephen Presley was speaking yesterday about the game. He said it was a good win last week, but we need to move on to the Hibs game. I think that's what we were talking about there, Reagan. That's all right if they win next week, but it's what you do in the next game. He said Hibs are a good team and they've got good experience. They're a good experience side. We need to take a good performance from us, but we are at home. David Gray is doing a good job at Hibs. So there. Um, so yeah, that should be a good game tomorrow. Let's move on to the 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 game. Um, it is Falkirk and Kilmarnock in this course. This is Neil McCann's going back to his former club.
Yeah, I mean, Falkirk are a good team. That'll be a good game to watch tomorrow. Jimmy Swinney's done well there because he's been there as CEO. They've got a real good structure there. And obviously, Neil going into the Ayrshire club as well. I mean, he'll be pretty happy with how things are going. Probably the only thing for him, Michael, is that John Jules
John
is
Jules, yeah.
he's out for the rest of the season.
Yeah, no, that's a big blow because he played well against Celtic 2 weeks ago and stuff like that, and he took off injured in the second half. But what are you expecting from this game, Reagan?
I'm expecting Falkirk to win, to be honest with you, Michael.
Yep, and yeah, I mean, John. I was going to say you speak to me about John McGlynn but I think we're running out of things to say about him because he's doing a brilliant job at Falkirk.
Yeah, I mean, I call him the Scottish Guardiola. He's doing a great job. The football he's playing, the style of play, the, the management tactics. I think he's a great coach. I've tipped him to go to Scotland, but a lot of people told me some feedback and said they weren't in favour of it. But that's my opinion, and I just feel that he's a very good manager.
What do you think of Neil in the opposite dugout? What do you think of Neil McCann? Because I felt as though it was a bit of a left field appointment when they came in, but I think he's slowly beginning to turn it round. And obviously, they got a defeat over Celtic last week, but they put a lot into that game.
Yeah, I mean, I know I was slagging Neil McCann last week for talking about the amount of added time that he was talking about because I didn't see what it. She like he was saying it probably shouldn't have been, but I think he probably forgot in the moment of time the person he should have been complaining about with that he's probably he's midfielders and defenders as well because they should have cleared the ball.
And I
You know,
suppose, Neil McCann, that comment that I made, right, there was more. I was, you know, I think it was kind of a spilt milk when you think of it, right? Because it's good time is for both teams. So they have come out, won that game because they
yeah,
scored a goal. Then I don't think he would be complaining.
no, I don't think anyone would be complaining, but he just complaining because Celtic scored. And
Yeah,
obviously, we heard that on the Sky interview, and every time I managed to hear Neil on the Sky Studio or BBC, he's actually pretty reasonable. I think if he was on that Sky Studio and he was talking about it, I think he would have been saying that manager's on to plums. I think just because he's in that place at that time, he's probably just feeling a bit down. To be honest with you, Michael.
and I mean, I know I said that a few times tonight, and I'll probably say it a few times before the end of the season. But Falkirk's another team that's come up, and and done a brilliant job. I think they've added to the league with the home support, away support as well.
Yeah, brilliant, Michael. Falkirk are doing amazing. The way they're playing, the actual style they're playing with. And I think that all the credit goes to John McGlynn and his staff.
What's your Neil McCann was talking about the game. He said we're looking forward to this game. Falkirk's a great side, but we are in a good place at the moment. And it's a difficult away game. What do you think your prediction will be for this one? Falkirk, Kilmarnock?
I think it'll be a close one, but I think ultimately it'll go to Falkirk. I'll say 2-1 to Falkirk.
Yeah, I will be the same as you, 2-1 to Falkirk. Game. I will be the same with you, 2-1 to Falkirk. Let's move on to the last game in the Premiership tomorrow. And I can't believe I'm saying this, Reagan, right? But this is a weird season because St Mirren went from the high of winning to the League Cup for maybe being in a kind of maybe relegation bottom six fight at the end of the season. I mean, I'm surprised I'm saying that because of the season they had last season and winning the cup. They're playing against Livingston tomorrow, but Livingston's got a bit of a bounce because they got a point against Rangers last week at Livingston. Do you still feel Livingston away?
Yeah, I think Livingston are. I think Livingston are down, Michael. To be honest with you, I hope Livingston are not listening. I would like to see them survive because I know people tell me that David Martindale wasn't sacked. He left off his own accord, but personally, I think he was sacked because of the performances were not good enough. And I've been saying that for years, Michael. That I just feel like I needed a change there. And fair play, if it was David Martindale that actually said to himself, I need to leave here to try and make things better, because sometimes you can be the sort of way that Neil Lennon was during COVID, where Celtic were 20 points behind, and Neil Lennon was still saying, "I can turn this around." You know, you don't want it to get to that point where it's not like possible anymore. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, Marvin Bartley came out today and said we need to build on last week's performance. That's what I was saying. That's what I was saying earlier on, Reagan, because it's not used teams getting wins against Celtic at Parkhead, Hibs, and then Rangers, Livingston get a point against Rangers last week. But it's what you do after that game matters, because
Exactly. I mean, it's what matters is what you do after that game. It's okay, your players getting up for the big Rangers games on Sky and all over the world TV coverage, but it's about the 3 o'clock kickoffs against St Mirren. But also, me and you have not heard from Robbie on the show for a while, Michael. But I tell you something, if Marvin Bartley beats Livingston tomorrow, the St Mirren fans will be starting to get a little bit touchy.
What do you think is it, Mirren? Because they've just fell off a cliff. Because going from that famous cup win against Celtic in December to this, and then don't forget they've been in Europe a few times over the seasons as well.
I think St Mirren at the moment would take 10th in the league in a trophy. I think they'll be looking to just finish 10th and get the season over and done with.
Yeah, I'm very surprised at St Mirren this season, how they've won the cup. I mean, it's similar to Aberdeen when you think about it, Reagan. Because they won a cup, and also they've kind of just fell off a cliff out of nowhere. But so that's Yep. So that's Livingston against Millen. What's your prediction on the last game before we get into the championship, Regan?
I'm going to go for a draw here. I'm going to go 1-1 in that game.
Yeah, I will. I will keep in Robbie's good books. I will go 2-1 Millen tomorrow.
Fair
So
enough.
there you go. There you go. That is your Premiership preview of the weekend. Then let's kind of jump into the championship. It's weird to think that a Friday night and there's no championship game on. I don't know what I'll do with myself, but anyway, but there's game on tomorrow in the championship. Let me just run through the game for you in the championship before we get to the interview. Airdrie against Morton, Dunfermline against Queen's Park, Parket Thistle against Arbroath, Ross County against Raith Rovers, and St Johnstone against Ayr United. These are the games tomorrow. And today, as we always do, Regan went to the City Stadium to interview Sean Crichton ahead of the game tomorrow. And against Dunfermline. And we're going to hear from Sean Crichton now, but I think he's done a decent job this season, Regan, for Queen's Park.
He has, Michael. I mean, Sean's not long retired from football, playing with Hawanaki and Livingston and clubs like that. But he's done a very good job, and I think that's so important to any club. And obviously the last sort of week has been full of the actual highs for them because they've done really well in terms of getting three massive results.
So Regan, we'll hear from Sean in a minute. While Regan's getting that up, let me tell you about a show on Monday night. It's the Can St Johnstone's History Build Stable Success. We'll find out on Monday join us live at 7:00. We'll be joined by Alice Blair and another St Johnstone fan on the show, and we'll be talking all things St Johnstone. So join us on Monday night live at 7:00 for the chat about St Johnstone. Alice is telling us about his book that he wrote about St Johnstone, and also he's involved in a testimonial up at St Johnstone, so he's going to tell us more about that on Monday night at 7:00. Join us for that one, Regan. So that should be a good show. So that's Monday night. That's tonight. And
who's going to be on that? Who's going to be on that show, Michael? Because I'm going to jump on with you.
Yeah. You're welcome to join me. We're joined by Alice Blair. We've got an interview with Agan Webb, who is the St Johnstone chairman, not the pop star.
Lovely.
Yep. So we've all got that coming for you on Monday night. But coming for you now, hopefully we'll have the interview that Regan had today to interview Sean Crichton ahead of the game against the Pars. Oh, will they be under par tomorrow? That's the question against Dunfermline. Yeah, did you like that one?
I did.
I'm here all week. I'm available for events and all that kind of stuff.
No.
Yeah. So what are you expecting from Dunfermline, Regan?
From Dunfermline, yeah, I'm expecting them to be up for it because they are going to be at home tomorrow. it's going to be a difficult game. They got a point on Tuesday against Partick Thistle. I've seen that game. I watched that game. A great first goal by Logan Chalmers for Partick Thistle. Then Dunfermline goal level, and then a great goal by Samuel as well. And then obviously the Pars then got a goal right at the death to make it 2-2. Michael, I'm going to now play the interview by me and Sean today. Okay.
Yep. So this is Regan interviewing Sean Crichton ahead of the game tomorrow at East End Park. So
Joined here by Sean. Sean, a big week for you. 3 big matches and 7 points from like 9 for you. You must be very happy with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, I want us to continue that, but we're under no illusion we've got a really difficult game coming up. But no, the confidence is high, and we need to make sure that we can, as I said, continue that kind of run that we're on.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to ask you about the squad as well, because obviously, see, after the Rangers game, I mean, obviously a lot of people were talking about Queen's Park, but they bounced back so well.
Yeah, I think, again, I said after the game, and I knew that with this group and the characters I've got in the group, that it wasn't going to define our season. And that was a big thing for me, making sure that we bounce back for that, and we absolutely have. Again, I think that gave us that kind of wake-up call that if you're not on your day and you're playing against a top side in Rangers, then you can get exactly the outcome of what happened. So, but our most important thing is making sure that the league season is first and foremost that we try and survive in this division. And as I said, the Rangers game maybe gave us a wee wake-up call to kind of make sure that this doesn't define our season.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you about the match on Tuesday.
Yeah, I think from our point of view, the games that we played against St Johnstone have been really close. The game up there, we obviously went 3-0 down at half time, and I changed it. And to be fair to the players, they went out and we nearly got something from the game. It was obviously 4-3, and then the home game, again, we played really, really well in the game, and we got a sickener at the end. So, no, I don't think our group fear anybody in this division. I think that's the biggest thing. I mean, I think we've competed against every single team, but it's so cutthroat, and it's so it's such a division that if you're not on point, that you can certainly get punished. And I know that I watched Morton v Dunfermline last week in their midweek tie, and Morton were on it and Dunfermline weren't, and the outcome was that Morton won the game. So we need to make sure tomorrow that we're on point, because it'll be a big win for us if we were.
See, in terms of the match tomorrow, have you got any players injured or same squad?
No, it'll be the same squad as what featured during the week. Everybody's come through the other night there really well. We had guys playing on Wednesday night as well, which was really good, just to keep the kind of minutes. And again, I speak about it all the time, just to make sure that every player's ready to go no matter what the outcome is.
Yeah, and obviously what you expected from the Pals tomorrow, because they obviously got a point against Partick Thistle as well during the week.
Yeah, a really difficult game. Again, they've got a really experienced manager, a really good manager who knows how to win football games. And again, he's got a young, hungry team, and we're expecting a really tough game. Again, you're going to East End Park. It's never an easy environment to go to either. So, no, but we need to look forward to it ourselves. We're on a bit of confidence. We've obviously on a wee good run as well, and they'll take confidence for Tuesday night. So I think it'll be a very even game.
I just wanted to ask you finally about, but obviously the squad's reaction after Tuesday night. I mean, the squad must be absolutely buzzing in terms of that last minute sort of scoring.
Yeah, I think they should take confidence for not just the Tuesday night, the games previous as well. I think the confidence is high in the group, but I keep saying it, I know myself, I've been involved in football long enough now that if you get arrogant in any way, that it can slap you in the face. So my message to the players will absolutely be, yeah, can we keep our run going, but we need to make sure that we do things properly, because if you don't, then you'll not get the outcome you deserve.
The game tomorrow at the game tomorrow, East End Park.
Yeah, Michael, it's going to be a good game. I don't know what happened today. I mean, you just got off. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be a good game tomorrow at East End Park. I mean, I think Queen's Park are in good form. They're playing well. They've got 7 points in the last 9 games. There's a spoken shot there. But as he said, you don't want to get too ahead of yourself because it can bite you back in the bum again. So you don't
Yeah.
want to. So you don't want to get too far ahead. But also, I'm looking forward to tomorrow because there's 2 massive games in the championship as well. There's Partick Thistle against Arbroath. I'm going to be there, Michael, and also there is
St.
St
Johnstone against here.
St Johnstone against Ayr. Yep. But I heard today that Ayr have got a lot of players injured for that game, so you'd probably favour St Johnstone. But if you want my predictions for the championship, I'm happy to say them.
Yeah, on you go, Regan.
I'll go Partick Thistle 2, Arbroath 1. I'll go St Johnstone 2, Ayr 1. I'll go Dunfermline 1, Queen's Park 2. And I'll go Ross County 1, Raith Rovers 3.
Oh, okay. Okay, so I will get my predictions out and I won't maybe sit in the fence for the weekend.
Yes.
I will go. So I will keep for the Dunfermline game tomorrow, Dunfermline and Queen's Park. I will go. I will go 2-1 to Dunfermline.
Okay.
Airdrie against Morton. I think I saw Airdrie the last few weeks. They're quite a good side, but I think Morton will just edge that one tomorrow. 1-0. Packet Thistle Arbroath. You've got to fancy Thistle 3-0 to Thistle tomorrow, and also Ross County.
3-0, yeah.
Yep, 3-0, yep. And Ross County Raith Rovers, I can only say an away win in this one, Regan. I can't make a case for County. So I will go 2-0 to Raith Rovers, and then St Johnstone against Ayr United. I will go 2 each on that game. So there you go.
That's a
A
big
dead
result.
on that one. So there you go. That's your predictions for the weekend then. So thanks for watching. Thanks to all your comments. Thanks to Regan as always. Thanks to everybody that's watching. We'll be back on Sunday, and then obviously we will be back on Monday with a special show talking all things at Johnson as well at 7 o'clock. So join me and Regan for that one live at 7 o'clock. So enjoy your football, and we will see you again on Sunday.
You're watching the Scottish Football Zone with all the build-up and reaction.